This is NewsBreak26 in Southwest New Brunswick. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Here's what's happening in our part of the world. Premier Blaine Higgs and his caucus congregated at the Terra Manor Inn in St. Andrews last week. The purpose of the two-day caucus meeting was to set provincial goals and priorities for the Conservatives' minority government. On day one of the meeting, Higgs took time out to answer questions from the press. We asked the Premier if his government has any plans to fund a year-round ferry to Campobello in the near future.
No, there haven't been any extensive discussions on that as a year-round. I mean, we want to ensure that the seasonal one is reliable, and we don't, because that is a huge impact on the island and on the area. So that would be the focus.
During his stay in Charlotte County, the Premier was also the guest speaker at a breakfast hosted by the St. Stephen Area Chamber of Commerce. Higgs spoke to the audience at the Garceland Civic Centre about his economic vision for New Brunswick's future.
I think for many years, politician success has been built by ribbon cuttings and building buildings. And I said a little earlier, we want our success by a sustainable government service, a workforce that is engaged to deliver better for New Brunswick. I never had success at anything in my life unless the people in the system weren't engaged.
To hear Higgs' full talk in St. Stephen, watch the latest episode of Southwest Magazine, exclusively on CHCO-TV. The Premier was confronted by demonstrators from the healthcare sector on more than one occasion during his visit to Charlotte County.
Nursing home workers for 3 years now have been without a contract. We have in the last 10 years had a total of a 6% raise over 10 years. So our paychecks do not go as far anymore as they used to since 2008.
While staying in St. Andrews, Premier Higgs and many members of his caucus came out to the W.C. O'Neill Arena on Thursday to show their support at the campaign launch for Conservative candidate John Williamson, who's running in the upcoming federal election.
I think it shows the strong relationship between the Andrew Scheer Conservatives and the Blaine Higgs government. And if we're successful on October 21st, we'll be working together to make New Brunswick a better place, and we hope Canada a better place too.
New Brunswick Southwest First Meet the Candidates Night for the federal election will take place Thursday, September 26th at Macadavic Place in St. George. Incumbent Liberal candidate Karen Ludwig, Conservative candidate John Williamson, and Green Party candidate Susan Jonah have all confirmed their attendance. The event is hosted by the Eastern Charlotte Chamber of Commerce and will feature seasoned moderator Mike Corbett fielding questions submitted by voters.
They can submit them in person at the door, or they can submit them to our email address, info@easterncharlottechamber.com. We will be selecting probably about 15 questions that we will give to the moderator, and each candidate will be given the opportunity to address each question.
Finally, the tall ship, the Nao Santa Maria, recently docked for the first time in St. Andrews. The vessel is a replica of the tall ship that Christopher Columbus sailed in 1492 when he first explored North America. Visitors had the opportunity to board the ship and imagine for themselves how Columbus and his crew would have lived and sailed during the age of exploration. The event was spearheaded by the St. Andrews Chamber of Commerce and is hopefully the start of a new September tradition in Charlotte County.
They're on their way to the Caribbean in the wintertime, and they came across the ocean, and they'll be making their way down the east coast of the United States. They'll stop in 3 places in Maine over the next few weeks, and then just continue on down. So we were in the right spot at the right time with the right wharf and the right organization.
That's all the news I have for you. For more stories and online exclusives, follow us on Facebook at CHCO.TV.
A news and public affairs production of CHCO-TV, New Brunswick's only source for independent community television.